What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to JohnnyKpicks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card picks and predictions, along with the bets that I'm looking at so far for UFC London, Aspinall versus Tybura. Now, first things first, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, or if you haven't yet. Notifications, please click that little bell for me, so that way you know when these come up, when the live streams come up, when I post any other videos throughout the week, any fun UFC card videos. Always do those every now and then. And also leave some comments below on your favorite fighters, who you like this week. What are your bets going to be? Let's interact a little bit more here. So, UFC Vegas 77 was the other day, and it was a pretty decent card for who was on it. So I know a lot of people, including me, wasn't really looking forward to it. But for my picks, I ended up going 12-1, just that one. And for my bets, I had 6 bets. I went 4-2, and I won 1.38 units profit. So on the winning streak right now. Got the hat on from last week. We're going to keep this rolling too until I lose. And yeah, we'll quickly go over these. There was 13 of these fights. Like I said, I got the first 12 right, and then we didn't get that last one. So close. But first fight, Barez versus Ashley Evan Smith. That was just a domination from Barez. Evan Smith should not be in the UFC and or should be fighting. About it, Perez looked really good and she dominated. She just needed to get that submission or finish to seal the deal, if you want to say, but good win from her. Munoz versus Deaton III. Munoz looked a little rusty a bit. Deaton's not very good. Kind of a slow, boring fight, but Munoz did win. I thought he won. He landed the better shots, I thought. And I mean, it was kind of a boring fight there. This was a really good fight, though. Maxim versus Nam. Very close fight. Actually impressed with Maxim. I know people are going to say that maybe he lost and maybe he should have, but very good performance from Nam too. But this was such a really close, good fight. And Maxim, I thought, just did this much more, but I could totally see people saying that Nam won because it was such a close fight. But like I said, I was impressed with Maxim. He showed good striking. He tried to grapple with Nam, but Nam has very good takedown defense, so he knew he couldn't do it. So good fight. That's just the way the judges scored it. And I don't mind going it split because I think that's how it should have been. It was very close. Elder versus Valdez, very fun fight. Elder basically dominated every minute of that fight except that one time he got rocked and he got knocked down. Other than that, he dominated that whole fight. So good win from him. Costa versus Lingo, another domination from Costa the whole 3 rounds. Almost got the submission in the last round. So very good win from him. Lingo, I don't know about Lingo. Dudakova versus Nunes, very unfortunate for Nunes. Dislocated her elbow when she was trying to stop from being taken down. Just a weird thing happened, unfortunately, and Dudakova got the win, and that's just how it happens sometimes. Bagdasaryan versus Tucker Lutz. Pretty decent fight. Bagdasaryan did the triple play of point deduction almost. He got the crotch shot, he got the fence grabs, he got the eye pokes, but no points were taken. But I thought he did win the fight, though. I thought he won round 2 and 3, just landing more damage and the better strikes. Lutz did win round 1, though, with the control time, but maybe the fence grabs helped him, maybe the nut shot helped him, maybe the eye poke helped Bagdasaryan. So interesting to see where these two go for the next fight. Sedikov versus McKinney. It's so unfortunate that McKinney just only literally has 1 round of cardio. That's it. And he is done. Falls off a cliff and he just can't do it anymore. He's a 1 round fighter. So good win from Sedikov. There was some fence grabs, but then again, there's a lot of fence grabs, this whole freaking card. So nobody got any point deductions. So good win from Sadikov. He trapped his arm when he was behind him to get the rear naked choke. So McKinney really couldn't even defend that. But even then, I think his cardio wouldn't even let him defend it either. So we'll see what happens with McKinney. Maybe he gets one more chance. But man, this is just the same old song and dance. I can't trust McKinney anymore. I can't. I want to, but I can't. This is the funniest fight of the card that made my night. Norma Dumont versus Chelsea Chandler. When Chandler got rocked and ran straight back and turned around from Norma Dumont and ran straight to the fence and basically hit her head against it was the highlight of my night. And it was just a Norma Dumont domination for 3 rounds. Chandler couldn't grapple. She couldn't strike. She did land a couple decent shots, but nothing amazing. Norma Dumont was just way better fighter. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I said she was the way better fighter. So throwing it out there, way better on the feet. And she got those takedowns. It just looked like Chandler didn't even know how to take Norma down, because every time she tried, she just fell on her back and got taken. Then Norma Dumont was on top of her. So um, it is what it is. Park versus Duraev. Cody, got you a shoey bet coming up here, but I had Park here. It kind of worked out the way I thought. I mean, I didn't think Park was going to win round 1, and I think he did win round 1. And then round 1, and I thought round 2 hit and 3, he would take over the fight and win it and just out cardio Duraev, and he did exactly that, just a little bit quicker than I thought. He did bust up his nose. I don't know if it was broken or not. Park did that to Duraev, so maybe that made his cardio even worse, because he looked a little worse than I thought he was going to. Duraev's cardio. So good win from Park. He got the rear naked choke. He did what he needed to do. Had a very good jab and kept popping him right in the nose and did the job. So got the win. Prado versus Zatar. Very fun fight for how long it lasts. Prado, he looks like a little mini Dober out there. I'll be honest, on the feet. He throws bombs, spinning elbows. Wrestling could use a little bit of work, but at least he tried it early, which I liked it from him. He's super young. He's super explosive. He's exciting. And I think Zatar is a little washed. I'm not going to lie. He had some good moments. He had a couple good body shots early, but other than that, he didn't really do too much. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. Prado's going to be moving on up, and I want to see more from him for sure. One of the funnest fights of the night as well, and most interesting fight IQs of the night, Jack Della versus Hafez. First off, Hafez is a monster. He is big. And this was on 4 days or so short notice, and he looked like he was going to drop at any point, but he kept going. He struggled, and he pushed through it, got some takedowns, kept going for the grappling like he should have. He actually landed some good shots on Jack too, but I think the right guy won. Now, I think the reason why some people may have thought Hafez won is because Jack Della put himself in such terrible situations that it made Hafez look better than how he really looked in that fight. Jack Della landed way more damage throughout the whole fight, way more strikes. The control time of Hafez, yeah, he got control time, but he didn't do a lot with it. Jack was just trying to jump guillotines and this and that, and Hafez is a very good grappler. So that was like the stupidest fight IQ I've ever seen. Maybe not ever. Let me retract that. One of the worst I've seen lately. And hopefully Jack doesn't think he's Charles Oliveira after submitting Brandy Brown last time with that club and sub, because exactly what it looked like he tried to do, was just kept going for that. But he did get the win. I thought he won 3-2. I didn't think it needed to go split, but maybe just to light a fire under his butt to say you almost lost this, and he should have probably dominated this fight. But good win from Jack. And Silva versus Holm. The one fight I did get wrong. Holly Holm was looking good early. She did her Holly Holm thing in the first round, and then she put her neck in bad situation, and you can't do that to Silva because she has very good submissions, especially an armbar, and she has very good chokes as well, and she got choked out. So could have been a good night, could have been a great night. I'm sorry, but good night with my picks. Could have been a great night for my bets. So like I said, 12-1 with my picks. And for my bets, we'll go real quick. Like I said, I had Holly Holm. That was my biggest bet of the night. Unfortunately, that one lost. I had Prado money line. I had a Norma Dumont money line. They both hit. Parlay of the under in the McKinney fight and the over in the Dumont fight, that hit. A parlay with Costa and Perez, that hit. And then I had this weird parlay. It was my last bet, and I probably shouldn't have done it, but it was close. It just didn't hit. Jack Della was close numerous times getting that win inside the distance, just didn't hit. And I was 15 seconds away from getting this one to start round 3. It ended with 15 seconds left in the second. So, like I said, 4 out of 2 with my bets, 1.38 units right there. We're going to start a streak this week and keep it going for UFC London. Let's go down here. 15 fights, which is going to be crazy. I don't think there's been any cancellations. Knock on wood. I don't know if you heard that. So let's get to the first one. We got Jafiel. I think it's Jafiel. Whichever. Jafiel Filho versus Daniel Barez. Get this out of here. Filho is 14-3, 30 years old, 5'7" with a 68.5-inch reach. And Barez is 16-5, 34 years old, 5'6" with a 66-inch reach. Before I do this, all right, let's get to it. So Filho is a well-rounded fighter. He's got solid striking with good power. He likes to push forward, good takedowns, really good grappling and submissions when he's on the mat, when he's on top. Even if he's on his back, he's really good submissions, really good grappling. Takedown defense is just okay. It's not awful, but it could be a little bit better. He can be a little hittable on the feet if he gets a little bit too reckless, too aggressive, all that good stuff. And Barez, making his UFC debut, he was on the Dana White Contender Series, and I believe he lost by split decision to Carlos Hernandez, which that was a very close um, fight. And then he came out and won 4 times in the regional scene here to get back for his UFC debut. So he's got very good striking, good power as well. He also likes to push forward. He's got solid grappling, good takedowns. His takedown defense, it's all right too. I would say it's a little bit worse than Filo's, but I mean that's just it's close. It's very close. But and his striking defense is just okay too. He can be hittable on the feet at times. But I think this is a very close fight to start the card off, which is always a good thing. Both guys are finishers. They go for it, but I ever so slightly lean the Filio side here. I like his grappling more. So if this fight does get to the mat, I think he's the better grappler. I think he's got the better submissions. But on the feet, it is very close. You may even give it to Barez ever so slightly, maybe because I think he can land a power shot more so than Filho can. But on the mat, I really like Filho. I think he's going to have the grappling edge. And I do think this fight gets to the mat too. Also, very impressed with Filho's um, debut against Makayev. So he almost got him out of there on very short notice with that knee bar, but then he ended up gassing out a little bit and then he ended up getting submitted later in the third round. So for my pick, like I said, I'm going to take Fialo. I'm going to say he does get that submission in like the either the late first or early second round. I think it's going to be kind of quick. Both these guys are going to go for it. It's to start the card off right. They're going to go for violence here, and I like violence here. And for my bets that I'm looking at, you can look at either money line depending on what you like. I like Fialo. I'm looking at that money line. I may grab that very soon because I think more money's going to come in on him. And I would look at the unders too. I think both guys can get the finish. Filo's been finished twice by submission, and I believe Barez has been finished like 3 times, 2 times by submission too. So not they don't get finished by knockouts yet, but by submissions. So like I said, give me Fialo to win by submission on this one to start the card off here. We'll go to the next one. Bruna Brazil versus Shauna Bannon. Brazil is 8-3-1. 29 years old, 5'6", with a 65.5-inch reach. And Bannon is 5-0, 29 years old, 5'5", with a 69-inch reach. Okay. So we got Brazil is a very good striker, good kickboxer she has decent power, very good kicks. Takedown defense isn't super great, but she does have okay grappling if she does get taken down. So you don't have to worry about her getting submitted. In her last fight, which was her UFC debut against Denise Gomes, didn't look all that great. It looked like she was a little gun shy, and she didn't really throw too much, and it was a really weird performance from her. So we all know Denise Gomes is looking really good right now. So maybe that was just a one-off. Maybe the jitters happened. So we'll see what happens in this one. Bannon, though, she's making her UFC debut. She's a very solid striker as well. Likes to push forward. She's not the most technical striker. Has good kicks. She's strong and durable. Has some wrestling she could use. Her level of competition, though, not very good. She's beating these girls 6-4, 1-2, 3-0, 3-0, 1-1. I mean, not to say that Brazil's fighting anything better, but at least she fought Denise Gomes and she has some experience there. But this could end up being a very close fight too. But I'm gonna go with Brazil here. I think she does look better than her last fight. I think she's gonna be the little bit more technical striker. She's gonna get her kicks going and should be able to outstrike her to a decision win. Bannon, if she does get her wrestling going, she could have an opportunity to win, get some control time. But I think after the first or second round, I think Brazil is going to start outstriking her, and it's going to go to decision. Brazil gets the decision win. For bets, I mean, depending on who you like, obviously it's really close to a pick 'em, so you can do money lines. I'm going to stay away from this fight. If I do play it, I may play the over when they drop just to see what the line is there. I'm sure it's going to be above 240 or something because that's just what they usually put the over lines with women's MMA. But I think I'll probably just stay away from this one. I don't really trust Brazil yet. I want to see her do better in this fight, and I don't really trust a UFC debutante either. Next one, it's going to be Chris Duncan versus Ashmouz. Duncan is 10-1, 30 years old, 5'10 with a 71.5 inch reach. And Ashmouz is 7-0, 28 years old, 5'9 with a 68-inch reach. So we got Duncan, who is a power striker. He throws big shots all the time when he's on the feet. He is very hittable on the feet, though, as well. He's been rocked numerous times in his Dana White Contender Series fights, his last fight, even against Omar Morales. He's been rocked, he's been dropped, but he's got good recoverability. He's durable. He's got decent cardio, too. Wrestling and takedowns are good. Doesn't have the greatest tap control, though, if he does get the takedown. So that's something you could think about there. And Ashmouz, okay striker. He does have power in his hands. He showed that in his last fight against Sam Patterson. He throws big shots, big overhands, good wrestling, good takedowns. He's durable, good cardio. Hasn't really fought the greatest level of competition either, but it's not too bad either. I mean, nothing crazy here. So interesting fight. Again, close to a pick 'em. Again, I think there's more money coming in on Duncan at the moment, which doesn't shock me one bit because he's from Scotland. Um, Man, I was going back and forth with this one, but I think I'm going to go with the underdog here. I'm going to go with Ashmead. Something in my gut says that he gets this one done. It may not look pretty, but I do think he could land that like big overhand right, knock down Duncan, maybe once or twice, and maybe even get the knockout here. But if he doesn't, I think he's going to land the harder shots, maybe get some control time on him as well. Duncan's takedown defense isn't all that great either, but he's the one most of the time initiating the takedowns if possible. So I'm going to go with the underdog here. I'm going to go with Ashmouz to get it done. I'll say by early second round knockout. I'm going to go for it. I think he's going to get that overhand right, kind of like what Jesus Aguilar did to Shannon Ross. Maybe not to that level, but just like the same style of overhand right lands. Maybe it stuns Duncan. Maybe he drops him, and then he can finish up ground and pound and get the win there. So for the bets, I mean, you can look at both guys. I think both guys have a very good path to victory. Duncan can just use his wrestling, and then I wouldn't strike too much though, because I just don't trust Duncan's chin. And then Ashmouz keep this fight on the feet, land that big power shot, land and hopefully get Duncan out of there. So give me the dog here. Like I said with the bets, maybe look at money lines. I wouldn't really touch the over unders. I won't trust either one of these guys with that. So give me Ashmouz by knockout. Next one, friend of the show, Kevin Vieira versus Penny Kianzad. Vieira is 13-3, 31 years old, 5'8 with a 68-inch reach. And Penny is 16-6, 31 years old, 5'7 with a 66-inch reach. So Vieira, solid striker, good boxing, good power in her hands. Can be a low volume at times as the fight goes on. Good takedown defense, okay takedowns and grappling too. She can, like I said, she can slow down as the fight goes on, but she's strong, she's tough, she's durable, and if she does get some control time, though, that's when she can mix it up in this fight. Kianzad, solid striker, very good kickboxer, throws a lot of volume. Takedown defense is pretty good. She can be out muscled up against the cage and taken down at times. So that's something to think about here because this is basically how this fight's going to break down. I think. I think Kianzad might be the better technical striker, but I think Vieira is going to land the harder shots. But Vieira can also throw in some wrestling, some takedowns, some grappling too. So very close fight. I think more money's coming in on the dog here. So I think Vieira is about a minus 155, 160 favorite at right now. Um, This is a close fight, though. I'm gonna go with the friend of the show. I'm gonna go with her one last time here with Ketlen Vieira. I just like how she can, if things are going wrong on the feet, she can mix it up. She can mix in the wrestling. She can mix in the grappling. Kianzad more so is just a striker. I think Vieira's gonna have to mix it up. She can't keep this on the feet for the whole 3 rounds. So with my pick, give me Ketlen by a very close decision, maybe even split. I like the overs in this fight. I wouldn't really bet a money line unless you like the dog in Kianzad. And if the line gets a little bit closer, it's something to think about because I do think the line was wide early on. But now we're getting to the point where like I said, I'm on the Ketlen side. It may be worth a bet, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna see where the line goes later in this week. But I do like the over in this fight, and I think that hits. Next one's gonna be Brian Barberena versus Mahmoud Muradov. We got Barberena is 18 and 10, 34 years old, 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. And Muradov is 25 and 8, 33 years old, 6'2 with a 75.5-inch reach. So this is a weird fight in general. Barberena is a volume striker. He loves to push forward and make this fight a brawl. Durable. Doesn't have the greatest KO power though, but he's one of those guys that's gonna kill you with 1,000 cuts, if you want to say. Good cardio. His weakness is his takedown defense and defensive grappling. So I think Muradov can use his wrestling. He doesn't really use it too much, but he can because I think Barberena's takedown defense and just defensive grappling is so bad. It's so bad. And also, Barberena is normally a welterweight, and he is moving up to middleweight for this fight. So think about that as well. Muradov, very good striker with good power on the feet. Solid takedown defense, which he probably doesn't have to worry about in this fight at all. He can wrestle, he can grapple too, but we haven't really seen a lot of it. But he's durable. He can slow down as the fight goes on, which is one little thing that I'm worried about in this fight. But the pick is gonna be Muradov. I don't think this is a lock as many think, just because I think Barberena can push a pace on him if Barberena doesn't get knocked out or finished in the first round or two. But if Muradov implements some wrestling, he can get the takedown really easily. He can get some control time, a lot of top control. Barberena doesn't know how to get up. So, and I think Muradov can actually get a submission win here too. So, like I said, I think the only way Barberena wins this fight is if he pushes a pace on Muradov for 2 rounds, and in the third round, maybe Muradov just kind of, I don't, not like death gasses, but gasses out to a point where Barberena lands a good shot on him and maybe gets him out of there. But other than that, Muradov is the pick. I think he does get the win here. I'm going to say he gets it done. I'm going to say by knockout in the second round. I think, and it could be like maybe even like a submission too, like the sneaky pick for a prop because Barberena's submission defense is so bad. So give me Muradov by finish. I'll say by knockout in the second round. Bets, you can put Muradov in a parlay. I think that's fairly safe. It is moving up now. I think it's about minus 325. So everyone's thinking the same thing. But I don't know. Something about this fight, though. It's just weird. It's just making me not want to put him in a parlay. But I think he wins. I want to say that. I do think he wins. Gut feeling. All right. Next one's going to be Mick Parkin versus Jamal Pogues. And we got Parkin is 6-0, 27 years old, 6'4, 79-inch reach. And Pogues, the Stormtrooper, is 10-3, 27 years old, 6'3, they 77-inch reach. All right, let's see. So Parkin is making his UFC debut. Has okay striking. He's got power in his hands. Obviously, he's a heavyweight. Most do. Good takedowns, good wrestling, good grappling. Takedowns are pretty decent, like I said. He can be hittable on the feet, but he hasn't really fought the greatest competition, which this is what scares me. 5-0. This was a pretty decent win. 5-0, 6-9, 7-7, 2-3, 2-12. That's all I'm gonna say. Pogues, solid striker with tons of volume. He's got a good jab. Not really a KO guy. He's one of those weird heavyweights that just doesn't have that much of KO power, let's say. He's got good takedowns if he wants to get this fight to the mat. He's got good cardio. He's durable. His takedown defense, though, is just okay, which is going to be a little worrisome in this fight. But this is another tough one. This is, I kind of want to say this is a low level heavyweight fight, but I'm going to go with Pogue. I like his striking more. I think he's the more technical striker on the feet, but I'm not super confident though, because I do think Parkin can get the takedowns. And like I said, Pogues' takedown defense isn't all that great. And Parkin can get some control time, wear out on Pogues a bit. But Pogue, like I said, Pogues has pretty good cardio for a heavyweight. So maybe it actually, the farther the fight goes, I think it favors Pogue. So if Parkin does get some takedowns, that may tire him out too if he can't get Pogues out of there. So for me, I'm gonna go with Pogues to get the decision win. I think this does go to decision. Like I said, Pogues is just not that finisher that you normally would think of when you say a heavyweight. Bets, I don't know, man. If you want to do like a sneaky over, that's a good bet. Maybe a Pogues money line at -150. I think the line is pretty decent, and I would favor Pogues money line before this one. I need to see more from Parkin. The level of competition is not that great. So I think we've seen Pogues a couple times. He got some decision wins. I know it's against Josh Parisian, but I would like to see Parisian versus Parkin before this fight, to be honest. So give me Pogues to win by decision in a sloppy heavyweight fight. Next one's gonna be Mark Diakiese versus Joel Alvarez. Diakiese is 16 and 6, 30 years old, 5'10, 73-inch reach, and Alvarez is 19 and 3, 30 years old as well. They're close to age. 6'3 with a 77-inch reach. This guy is massive. So Diakiese, solid striker. As of late, though, he's showing very good wrestling, good takedowns, good top control. He can be hittable on the feet. That's something to think about. He's got good cardio. And he's pretty durable. He's been rocked a couple times, but he hasn't been knocked out, but he's been submitted. And I think one of those times is what's like a club and sub. Alvarez, though, he's a very, very good grappler. Really good submissions off his back. Off his back especially. Good striking with good powers. He likes to keep his range. He's got good elbows too. Takedown defense, not good, but I think he's okay with that. He's okay with playing, doing grappling off his back and trying to get the submissions because he's got a lot of those. Very good grappler, like I said, and yeah, he's huge. But a little red flag though for him though. He's so big. It's really hard for him to get to 155. So it's something to think about when you're betting. If you're one of those people that just want to see the weigh-ins, how they look, he's missed weight and got or really close to missed weight or whatever you want to say a lot of times. So other than that, though, like I said, I like Alvarez a lot here. I think he's the better fighter everywhere, other than the wrestling department, because I think if Diakiese tries to go for some takedowns, Alvarez would probably give him up and just play grappling off his back, which that could be dangerous for Diakiese because Alvarez's submission game is very, very good. But Diakiese has a chance to win this fight. He just has to be safe for 15 minutes. But on the feet, Alvarez is better, I think. And then obviously the grappling and submissions are going to be better too. So with my pick, give me Alvarez. I think he gets a submission win, whether it's club or sub, whether it's going to be on his back, whether he's on top, whether it's a rear naked choke, one way or another. Bets, I like Alvarez money line a lot. I think it moved up a little bit than this 155. I think it's about 170. You can look at Alvarez submission. You can look at Alvarez inside the distance. I'm going to be looking at all of these plays as well when they come out. Next one's going to be Danny Roberts versus Johnny Parsons. Interesting fight. Danny Roberts is 18 and 7, 36 years old, 6'1, 74-inch reach. And Johnny Parsons is 8 and 3, 31 years old, 5'9 with a 69-inch reach. So Roberts is a good technical boxer. He's got some power in his hands. He slows down as the fight goes on. His takedown defense is not the best at all. He doesn't really wrestle, but he can wrestle if he wants to. But like I said, he doesn't really do it. Chin can be a little questionable if you want to say. Parsons, solid striker. He's got good leg kicks, good elbows as well. He's not the most technical of strikers. He can be a little wild. He likes to push forward. His cardio is pretty good. and he doesn't really wrestle. He's more so going to be a striker. So I think this is going to play out on the feet. Striker versus striker here. I would say Danny Roberts, like I said, is more so a boxer. Johnny Parsons more so like a Muay Thai guy. But I'm going to go with the guy, the younger guy. He's a little bit smaller. I think he packs a little bit more punch. He's a little bit more durable, a little bit of cardio as well in Parsons. I think he gets it done. I think he is a very slight favorite as a minus 125. I like him to get this win, though. I wish he was an underdog because I would have may have laid some money on that, but I'll think about it now because maybe some more money comes in on Danny Roberts since he's from the UK. So I'm gonna wait for the lines for that. I just like I said, I think it's pressure. The pressure that Parsons puts on Roberts will eventually get to him. He'll get the knockout in the I would say late second or third round. So pick is gonna be Parsons by knockout bets. Like I said, Parsons inside the distance. You can look at the under, but Parsons been knocked out a couple or a few times, maybe two times, but not fairly recent. It's been a while. It's been about 5 years. So I know he hasn't really fought a lot or too many times, but he's getting knockouts himself in that split decision win against Solomon Renfro, which was a good win for him, but that was a very close fight. But he landed some good shots on him as well. And I think Solomon Renfro can beat Danny Roberts. So, like I said, I like Parsons to win this fight, and we'll go from there. Next one is going to be Davy Grant versus Daniel Marcos. Davy Grant is 13-6, 37 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. And Marcos is 14-0, 30 years old, 5'7" with a 69-inch reach. So Grant is a powerful striker with, did I say power? He's got tons of power for a bantamweight. Big looping hooks that land around the guard, strong leg kicks, has solid grappling and takedowns, actually, which he's shown every now and then, but mainly he's shown his striking. He's got some good elbows, good spinning kicks and stuff like that. He likes to show off a bit. He's very durable. He's got good cardio. He does slow down a little bit at times if he's a little too crazy in the first round. And I don't know if I said it, but he can be hittable on the feet too. It just depends on how crazy he gets, but he can land a power shot. Marcos, solid technical striker with good power. Solid takedown defense. He's durable. He got very good cardio as well. He's got good combos. And yeah, he's making his he's not making his UFC debut. I thought he was. Yeah. Yeah, he beat Saman Oliveira, which was a pretty good win from him, but Oliveira Grant is a very tough out, and for that reason alone, he's very like I like Grant to win this fight. I know he's an underdog, a little bit. I think he's at plus 120 range right now. I think he gets the. Actually think he gets the decision win. I think Marcos is very tough, but I think Grant is going to land the harder shots. He's going to have the grappling edge. I think in wrestling, he can mix in, and I think he should maybe even later in the fight. But early on, I think this is going to be like a slugfest. It's going to be fun. But I like Grant to get the win. I think I don't want to say he's underrated or underestimated, but man, Davy Grant is very tough. He's always hard to for like someone like Marcos who's just starting out his UFC career. Marcos hasn't really fought the greatest competition in his I know he's 14-0 and it's a lot of fights, but like I said, Grant is probably going to be his toughest competition. So give me David Grant to win this one. Like I said, I'm going to say by decision, but wouldn't be shocked one bit if he gets that knockout or like a weird submission like he did against a Sun Sao. So I like Grant here. Bets, I like Grant money line. He's the dog. That's about all I would look at. Maybe Grant knockout. You like Marcos? I get it. He's more technical. He's gonna have to out volume Grant and land a lot because it's hard. It's gonna be hard to put him out. So give me Grant. Next one's gonna be Lerone Murphy versus Josh Culibao. Murphy is 12-0-1, 32 years old, 5'9" with 73-inch reach. Culibao 11-1-1, 29 years old, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. So Murphy is a very good striker. He's got good power, good volume on the feet. Takedown defense, though, isn't amazing, but it's okay. He does have a pretty decent get-up game, though, if he does get taken down. And I did notice in his last fight when he fought Santos, He does slow down if he has to work in some grappling, but if this fight is on the feet, he's got good cardio too. So we'll see what happens here. Culibao, good striker, good power too. He likes to push forward. He can be a little aggressive at times, which can leave him open to some counters. Has some good grappling, which but he's mainly going to be on the feet though. And like I said, he can be hittable at times if he gets a little crazy. He can be countered. So this is another close fight, I think, but I do think this is more so um Murphy's, if you want to say oh, what am I trying to say? This is like a better matchup, let's say, for Murphy than Santos was in his last fight. So I do think Murphy's going to look a little bit better here. So I think he does get the win. I think he's a little bit more technical than Culibao. The power there, I think he's going to be able to counter Culibao if he starts rushing in a little bit, trying to land some combos. And yeah, so I like this is just going to. I think it's going to be mainly be a striking fight. And I like if that's the case, give me Murphy here to win. It's going to be by decision. Um, it'll be fairly close, and then maybe he'll get a little bit of hometown judging again, like he may have in the Santos fight. So give me Murphy by decision. The bets, I would look at the over. Both guys are pretty durable, and I don't think anyone's going to be knocking out anybody here. So maybe the over is going to be a better play. I would look at that one. Next one's going to be Jai Herbert versus Faris Ziam. Herbert is 12-4-1, 35 years old, 6'1", with a 77-inch reach. And Ziam is 13-4, 26 years old, 6'1", with a 75-inch reach. So Herbert, very technical striker, good boxer, good power. He's shown some decent wrestling as of late in the Kyle Nelson fight, a little bit with Ludovic Klein as well. So he's kind of adapting a little bit. He's being a little bit more well-rounded. The only thing with him, though, is his chin. It's not the most trustworthy. He's been knocked out a lot, even in some fights where he's winning, and then he gets knocked out later in the fight, which is unfortunate. I'm not going to blame him from the Ilya fight, though, because Ilya's a monster. We all know that. And then Ziam, very technical kickboxer, doesn't have the biggest power in his hands, but he does also has some wrestling and grappling he's used lately in the Figlac fight. He used a lot of wrestling and got some control time, so he's adapting as well. They're both just not strikers anymore. They have a kind of a well-rounded game. So this is a very interesting fight because both guys are almost like identical. Like they have the same kind of style, but the only thing is I think Herbert is the more dangerous striker on the feet, and I think Ziam it won't be able to knock out Herbert. I don't think he has the power to do it. And that's the one thing that always scares me from picking Herbert or betting Herbert here. So I'm going to take Herbert as I think he's an underdog now. It's not a favorite. I think he's a slight underdog. I'm going to go with Herbert to win. I like his striking. I like his power. I think he can land the harder shots on the feet. And if it's not working out too well, Ziam's takedown defense isn't that good either. So who wants to implement the wrestling? I think they could get the takedowns. But I think this fight will definitely start out as a kickboxing striking fight. And then we'll see what happens after that because both guys, like I said, they're both doing the same kind of thing at the same time. But I'm going to go with the underdog. I think this is a very close fight. So give me Herbert to win. And I'm going to say he gets it done by decision because, like I said, Ziam is very tough and durable. I would look at the over. Either way, I think an over is a good play. And either money line is a good play, depending on who you like. But I'm going to go with Herbert. Next one's going to be Andre Muniz versus Paul Craig. Muniz is 23-5, 33 years old, 6'1", 78-inch reach. Paul Craig making his middleweight debut, 16-6-1, 35 years old, 6'3", with a 76-inch reach. So Muniz is a super good grappler, great submissions. Striking is just okay. It's not awful though. He has pretty decent striking, but solid wrestling and takedowns too. The only time he's going to struggle on the feet if he's fighting another technical striker or a good boxer. But luckily for him, he is fighting another super good grappler with very good submissions, whose striking is not good. But if he does land, he's got decent power and he's durable. He can take a lot of shots because he has zero striking defense. He slows down after the first round. And like I said, he's making his middleweight debut. And I'm interested to see what he's going to look like on the scales, how his cardio is going to be even more because he hasn't shown great cardio at light heavyweight. So yeah, I like Munoz a lot here. I cannot back Craig here because I do think the grappling is going to cancel each other out. I think Munoz will be able to stuff the takedowns that anything that Paul Craig tries to do early on. If Munoz does want to take this fight to the mat, I think Paul Craig will be okay with it, and Munoz will get those takedowns. But Munoz is going to be the better striker. This is how he's going to be able to win the fight, and I think he can outstrike Craig. And I think he can either get the finish on the feet and maybe or like a club and sub after he drops Paul Craig. So with my pick, give me Munoz to win. I'm going to say I'll say by knockout in the second round. I think by that point, I think he can. Craig will be tired enough, and he just finishes up with ground and pound. Doesn't get too crazy with it. Bets. Look at the unders here. I like Munoz money line as a parlay piece. I think this is a good parlay piece. I think he's about minus 200 range right now, so something to think about there. Next one, Nathaniel Wood versus Andre Fili. And Wood is 19-5, 29 years old, 5'6", with a 69-inch reach. And Fili is 22-9, 33 years old, 5'11", with a 74-inch reach. So Wood's going to be the smaller guy here. He's a bantamweight. He's moving up to featherweight, but he's looked really good since he's done that, though. But Wood is a very good boxer. He is super quick on the feet in this division. Like, I'm talking quick. Good combos, good counters. He does have wrestling he can use. He's shown that in his last fight. He's very durable. He throws a ton of volume, good leg kicks. And yeah, Fili, very solid striker as well. He does have wrestling when he wants to use it. He can be a little hittable on the feet, which we've seen. He's going to be the bigger guy here. And a lot of his fights, though, he's very inconsistent. So like he can look really good in one fight, and then the next fight he can look like not even himself. And I know in his last fight against Bill Algeo went to split decision, very close fight. Brito got out of him there early. Pineda, that was an eye poke, and then Bryce Mitchell, he was just out grappled. So, like I said, I know Wood's going to be the smaller guy in this fight, but I like him to win this fight. I think he's going to be too quick on the feet. He's going to chop at the legs, so Andre can't move around too much. He's going to push forward. He can get the takedowns and get some control time too. I don't think Fili's going to be the one going for takedowns in this fight. I think Fili's going to want to try to keep this fight on the feet and stay at range, but Wood's going to be too tough. Wood's going to be too strong. Not too strong. I'm sorry, too quick. Too quick, not strong. He is strong though. He's going to get in the pocket, get a little couple good body shots, get 1, 2, 3, and then go right back out again. So I think it's going to be rinse and repeat. So give me Wood to win this one. I'm going to say by decision, though. Wood hasn't really shown to be the greatest knockout guy in the featherweight division. He can land some good shots, though, but if you're not going to get out Charles Rosa, I don't think he's going to be able to get out Andre Fili. So with my pick, like I said, give me Wood by decision. I like the Wood money line. I think that's a pretty safe, accurate line if you want to say for like a parlay piece. You can look at the over. I'm going to look at the over as well in this fight, and we'll go from there. Co-main event, it's going to be Molly McCann versus Julia Stoliarenko. Molly McCann is 13-5, 33 years old, 5'4", with a 62-inch reach. Stoliarenko, 10-7-1, 30 years old, 5'7", with a 69-inch reach. So Stoliarenko is normally a bantamweight, and this fight is going to be a flyweight fight. So that's why she's so much bigger, and I'm not sure if Stoliarenko is going to be able to make this weight. So, but we'll get to the breakdown here real quick. McCann's a pretty decent boxer. She's got some decent power, only if she does like the spinning elbows, something crazy like that. She doesn't have like that natural, like overhand power that can knock someone out. She does have some wrestling she can use, but I don't think she's going to use it in this fight because Stoliarenko is very good off her back. And she likes to push forward, be aggressive, and she doesn't mind taking a hit to give a couple more. So, but if McCann does get taken down, she's not very good at getting back up, and hopefully she's worked on that since her last fight. Stoliarenko, though, is a very good grappler. She's got good submissions, especially off her back. She's not the greatest wrestler or even striker, but because she's very hittable, and she, like I said, dropping down the flyweight this fight. So we do not know what that cardio and or how she's going to look. So basically, like I said, this fight comes down to, can McCann keep this fight on the feet? If she can, I think she wins this fight, and she looks like her minus 300 or so. I think it's even less than that, minus 250 favorite. But if she gets taken down early and Stoliarenko gets good top control or anything like that, I think Stoliarenko is going to get the submission eventually. So, but if this fight gets out of the first round or over a round and a half, I don't think Stoliarenko's cardio is going to be good at all after dropping down the flyweight. I'll be honest. She's not going to be used to cutting that weight. She's a bigger fighter. So with my pick, give me McCann. I think she does get the knockout later in the fight, maybe the late second round when Stoliarenko just doesn't have anything left, no gas in the tank, and she's tried to get it, try to get the fight to the mat. Maybe Molly McCann stuffed a couple takedowns and just kind of gassed out. Stoliarenko's gassing out. So Molly by second round knockout here. Bets you can look at, if you like McCann as a money line, it's dropping though. So it's getting to parlay potential, because at the minus 350, I don't want to touch it. You can look at the under. I think both fighters have a solid chance at the under here. I'm going to look at that as well when that prop drops. I think that may be a better bet. I think Stoliarenko can get the sub early, and if she doesn't, I think McCann can get the finish late. And the main event is going to be Tom Aspinall versus Marcin Tybura. Aspinall, 12 and 3, 30 years old, 6'5", 78-inch reach. Tybura is 24 and 7, 37 years old, 6'3", 78-inch reach. So Aspinall, we all know who he is. Super well-rounded fighter for a heavyweight. Very explosive striking with power. Good wrestling, very good grappling with submissions. He can be a little aggressive at times. Maybe that's could be a reason why he had that knee injury in his last fight, because he was coming out looking for that explosive KO and his knee kind of gave out. Other than that, he's very good. He can be a little hittable if he gets too aggressive too. So that's something to watch out for. But he's super dangerous anywhere this fight goes. Tybura is a well-rounded fighter himself. He's got solid striking. He can wrestle, good takedown defense. He can slow down as the fight goes on, but it's not like he's going to death gas or anything. He's durable too, but his volume starts to slow down a bit, and doesn't really have that wrestling or takedowns that he can do after like the first round and a half. But like I said, he's durable for a heavyweight. So in this fight, though, like I said, I gotta go Aspinall. Like, he's so dangerous in this fight anywhere it goes. And if it wasn't for his injury, I'm sure he'd be like a minus 700, 800 favorite in this fight. So I think on the feet, Aspinall can get the knockout. I think he can go for some takedowns early, get this fight to the mat, and work his submissions and work his grappling. So the pick is going to be Aspinall. I'm going to say he gets it done inside the distance. I'm going to say by submission in the second round. So for the bets, I would look at Aspinall inside the distance just in case. Look at the unders. It's probably going to be set at 1.5. If it's 2.5, I'd play the under all day, but I think it's going to be set at 1.5. And I'm going to look at Aspinall inside the distance just to cut down that minus 450, minus 500 line a bit. This fight's not going 5 rounds. There's no way. And I think if somebody does get the finish, it's going to be Aspinall. But all right, guys, those were the 15 fights for UFC London. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Always appreciate you guys and all the support. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed watching my video. Please subscribe if you haven't, or if you're new to the channel and just found me randomly on YouTube or something like that. Please leave some comments below on anything of which fight do you like, which fighter or bets you like this week. Live show with Cody from Blood Money MMA Bets will be Thursday night at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And also this Saturday, we are going to have a fight companion early for all the fights, prelims, main card. So we're going to be on for like 6 to 7 hours, whatever it is. Me, Patty, Cody, may have a couple more special guests. So definitely check us out then. Hope everybody enjoys the early start time. all 15 fights. Let's pray they just stay alive. No cancellations or anything. And until next time.